And nice way to send our seniors out. Really nice to have just a moment in front of them and their families and the home crowd. Glad that we had a chance to play so many players. It might be the most players I've ever had a chance to play in a game, which is fun to have a chance, especially this late in the season, to reward that many players. The game was clearly out of hand, middle of the second quarter, and tried to manage it best way possible with as much class and respect for the game and our opponent as we could, and then also let our younger players play. And I think we accomplished that while maintaining some health of our starters and some of our key backups going into the next two games and before our bowl game. And so I'll take questions.
Bronco, Kyle Van Noy they got the ball down inside the 5, and they ran a running play toward the end zone. Kyle jumped in, broke it up, tackled for loss. Is that just what you've gotten used to seeing him do over the last few years?
Yeah, the set point for him to do something that will surprise me now is, I don't know if he can do anything that will surprise me. He's one of the most productive football players that I've ever coached or watched play, and he just makes plays.
Bronco, is it true that Jason Munz said go ahead and play the younger guys and don't have me play?
I didn't know that. When I shook hands with Jace at the end after the game, I then went to Coach Beck and he said, you know what, I talked with Jason earlier in the week, and he said, you know what, I think the younger guys ought to play. And so that's just who he is. He's a remarkable young man and leader, and those kind of experiences teach me a lot, and I was proud of him. Again, I didn't know that until after I came in the locker room and talked to Jason Beck. Anything else?
I know this game was a lot about the seniors, but was there any thought or anything in your mind about with the loss of Todd Christensen? Doing.
It would have been a nice touch. I think that with the viewing and with the funeral and different things happening and the outreach we've given or put that way, hard to maybe balance both, but possibly I could have done a better job. With that in mind, I really wanted the focus to be on our seniors today, and then do everything I can to make sure that Todd's family knows how much we were thinking about them. So I feel like we've done the best we could, at least under the circumstances.
Taysom had a struggle a little bit. Is that what was the problem there, do you think?
I'm not sure. Probably just, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but we've built a lot of confidence, and he's built a lot of confidence, and so maybe just thinking that we're slightly better in some situations than we are, and a nice reminder for ball security. So I think we can use it as a positive, but I really can't say as to what the reasons were.
Early in the game, you had 4th and 1 in your own territory. Decided to go for it. Was the decision there? Just felt like
we could get it. Just knowing our opponent and knowing what our strength was and where they might struggle, the risk didn't seem very high, and ended up going for a long ways. But that wasn't called for that to happen. That just happened. While we're talking about that, I was really impressed with both Adam Hine and Algie Brown. And so if you're saying now, what do we really take away from this? The ability to possibly have those two guys play a little bit more to spell Jamal, because they added another physical presence and they showed that they were capable and trustworthy. And so possibly we can share the wealth a little bit more than what we've been doing there.
Is that something you've been looking for to have some?
Yeah, not necessarily. And they've worked really hard in practice. We just have so much confidence in Jamal that it's hard to take the ball out of his hands. But what this shows is sometimes, especially late in the year, when he's getting the volume he is, that maybe there's a couple more carries for a few other guys.
Coach, looking forward to Notre Dame. What does it mean to have a playing relationship with them, and what do you hope to gain from it?
I would like it to end up being a rivalry. That will happen once we do our part in winning enough games. And I felt a year ago that we had a great opportunity to win. I look forward to a hard-fought game year in and year out, and I'd like to play him as much as possible. I think the rivalry makes a lot of sense, or the game makes a lot of sense. It's not a rivalry. the game makes a lot of sense, and there's a lot of intrigue for college football, and I would love to play it on a yearly basis if possible.
As far as the, I lost my train of thought. The defensive players, you mentioned the running backs, you gained something from them, but as defensive players today, the guys that you were able to play, any of them stand out to you?
Manoa Kula, his status or his stock or his place in our team just keeps going up, and so I really like what he's doing. We have a young safety in Kai Nakua that's starting to emerge a little bit, and we might be able to have a little bit more depth at corner from him. Those are probably the two that I would just say, if I had to say anyone just from watching the sideline, in which I'm wrong a lot from just watching on the sideline, but those two guys I would say caught my eye.
Connie Friel didn't play. Was he injured, or what is that?
He's hurt. So Brett Thompson is hurt. Connie Akua is hurt. Devin Mahina is hurt. J.D. Falslev hurt. And so tight end position today, Marcus Matthews got an opportunity, as well as Taryn Houck. And so hopefully Connie's the closest to returning, and Brett possibly for next week, but Connie we should have back.
Coach, when it comes to next week, this is kind of a unique opportunity. It's not often you get to go right back to the scene of the crime. That was such a narrow margin of defeat last year. This is kind of a unique opportunity for you and the players.
Yeah, that was one that I don't remember many games, but I remember that one, and so I'm looking forward to going back. All right, thanks.